Hi everybody, this is Bug S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the McFarlane Toys Raw10 Walmart exclusive Cy-Gor figure. So, Cy-Gor doesn't come with any accessories, but he does come with a little pamphlet, an information pamphlet that turns into a mini poster, which is pretty cool, so I'll go ahead and show that off. So, right there, you get some art of Cy-Gor with the Raw10 logo. You get a brief bio on the inside, so there, go ahead and pause it if you want to read that. You get some brief bios of Frenzy, Battlesnake, Cy-Gor, and Raptor. And then you fold this out, and it becomes a little mini poster of Cy-Gor versus Battlesnake. And this is pretty awesome. I like that art. I'm not sure who the artist is. I'm pretty sure it's not Todd McFarlane. But still, that art looks pretty cool. So that is the only thing that he comes with. So now we will go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt of Cy-Gor. So, McFarlane Toys did an amazing job on this head sculpt. It is just done really well. You get some glossy red for his eyes, which looks really good. You get some scars on the right side of his eye sculpted in that look really good. The fur is also sculpted really nicely on his head, well, over his whole body. But it's sculpted really nicely and then has some gray paint over top of it that brings out all of those details very well. So I like the way that looks. And in the places where the gray is painted on, like his eyebrows and his nose, just his face area, I should say. The gray that's painted on his face area has a bit of a black wash over top of it to bring all the details out. So that looks really nice. You get some really good sculpt detail to his mouth right there. His teeth are done in like a brownish color with a dark brown wash over it, bringing out all those details. And his mouth is just cast in the same color as his face and most of his body. Just that black color, but it's the pink is painted over top of it, which I really don't mind because as you can see, some of the black is showing through a little bit, but it kind of looks intentional. It kind of looks like a wash over top of it. But yeah, this head sculpt is done really well. And on his torso, you get some mechanical bits right here. They're done in a really nice silver color with a black wash over it. The black wash brings the details on all of the figure out really nicely, especially the mechanical bits right here. And you get the same sculpt detail on his arm. You get that silver with the black wash over top of it. But I feel like the details are brought out a lot better on this left arm. So yeah, it looks really nice. It would have been cool if they would have included an interchangeable hand for him, like the old Cy-Gor figure did. This is all just one solid piece. Well, it's actually hollow in the middle. It's kind of that hollow plastic. As you can see, it kind of bends in when I do that. Looking at his right arm, it also looks really good. You get some sculpt detail to his hand right there. And you get some gray paint on top of the fur. And you also get a glossy black coat too. So that brings out the details really nicely. You get that little bit of gray and a little bit of black color in there. You can tell the gray a lot more up here, but it just looks really nice. And on his back, you get some more sculpt detail to the mechanical parts. You get some vents right here and here. And one thing, I love that they managed to sculpt in the Spawn logo there on the back. That looks really awesome. I guess that's kind of like an Easter egg, but that's still pretty cool that the Spawn logo can be found on the mechanical elements on his back. That looks really cool. You get a lot of gray paint right here on the upper part of his back, right under the mechanical parts. And I feel like the gray is done too heavily. It needed like a black wash or something over top of it. But down here you get that glossy black paint to his fur. You get some more of the sculpted mechanical parts. You get the wires and the tubes running all over his leg. That looks really good with that black wash over top of it. I love any time a company does a wash because it always brings out the sculpted details, because the sculpted details are there, and once the wash is over, those details really pop. And then on his right leg looks really glossy. That's really my only complaint, is that it just looks really glossy when compared to the rest of his fur, which is done in a pretty flat collar. I also forgot to mention that he has two big scars right here on his stomach. And it's mostly done in gray, and then has just a little bit of black paint to the lower part of his stomach right there. But yeah, this is done in a really glossy plastic. I wish it would have been done in a flat collar. And then looking at the bottom of this foot, I noticed that it says Raw10. you get Raw right there on his toes, and on the back of his foot you get 10. So that's pretty cool. And then on this one, you just get the Todd McFarlane Productions and all that stuff. You do have a little bit of element sculpted on here, though. But yeah, I think that's funny that the Raw10 is on his foot there. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He doesn't have very much articulation. It's pretty simple. But he still has a little. So he has a swivel head. By the way, you're probably hearing something creak. And that's Cy-Gor, because he's constantly wanting to fall over on my review station here. So I'm holding him down. So that's what that noise is that you keep hearing, that. But anyways, he has a swivel head that can just move side to side like that. Hold on here, it gets stuck on that side. So you can turn it left farther than you can right. It does get stuck right there. But he has swivel at the head. He has swivel at the shoulder that can just move up and down like that. They do move pretty well, so you can either get him with his hands up like that, or you can get him looking like he's going to beat his chest, or you can just have his arms kind of down here like that. And one thing I wanted to say is he's a really, really large figure, so he barely fits on my review station here. And finally, he has swivel hips that can kick out that far, which just looks funny if you do that. And he can kick back like that. But again, that looks really funny if you do that. So that is all for the articulation. It's very simple. So now let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the original Cy-Gor. I think this was from series 2 or 3 of the original Spawn figures from the 90s. And he is a lot smaller than the new Cy-Gor. But there he is next to the original version. There he is next to the 2003 version. And this is still my favorite version because his chest opens up to reveal a little robot monkey inside that's removable. And he has real chains. But even this Cy-Gor is still bigger than him, and this was a deluxe box figure. So there he is next to him. And finally, there he is next to the new Mortal Kombat Spawn figure. I added some of the collar tops weapons to him. This is just the one that came with the sword. So yeah, he scales pretty well with him. He's a little large. He's a little larger than he should be next to this Spawn, but you can definitely make it work. So yeah, they scale pretty well together. So overall, I'd highly recommend getting Cy-Gor. He is an amazing figure. The articulation is pretty limited, but it has some really, really nice sculpt detail and also some really nice paint detail to it for it being $20. You know, for a $20 figure, this is really big. Like, you saw how big he is next to Spawn. So yeah, I think that's a great price point for this. Even though he has limited articulation, it really doesn't bother me because a lot of the older Spawn figures didn't have much articulation. So that doesn't bother me at all. So yep, I would highly, highly recommend this. It is a very awesome figure. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.